We're going to continue on with our Chapter 2. This is our study guide review, and we're going to finish up going over this together. So let's zoom in here, make sure it's nice and clear. It says, Stephanie has 3/4 quarts of lemonade. She divides the lemonade into glasses that hold 1/16 quart. How many glasses can she fill? Show your work. So this is 3/4 is the amount of lemonade she has, and we're dividing it into groups of 1/16. So here we just dividing fractions as easy as pie, flip the second, and multiply. And we'll look to see if we can simplify on the diagonals. These are both divisible by 4. Then we multiply our numerators, multiply our denominators, and we get 12 glasses of lemonade. Number 14, ink cartridges weigh 1/8 of a pound. The total weight of the cartridges in a box is 4.5 pounds. How many cartridges does the box contain? Show your work and explain why you chose the operation you did. So we start with 4.5 pounds, and we're dividing them into groups of 1/8 of a pound. So we need to make this into an improper fraction to solve it. 2 stays the same on the bottom. We multiply and add. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Dividing fractions is easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply. Here we have 2 numbers that are both divisible by 2. We multiply across the top and the bottom, and we get 36 cartridges. Never realized I had a hard time saying cartridges before. Cartridges. Okay, so you may want to add to that, because it asks you why, that I chose to divide because I needed to find the number of 8s in 4.5. Okay, number 15. Beth had 1 yard of ribbon. She used 1/3 for a project. She wants to divide the rest of the ribbon into pieces 1/6 of a yard long. How many 1/6 yard pieces of ribbon can she make? So she had a yard, 1 yard, and she used 1/3 for a project. So we have to get rid of 1/3. So remember, when you are subtracting with fractions, you want a common denominator. So I can change this to 1/1, and I need a common denominator of 3 here. So I'm going to multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 3. I get 3/3 minus 1/3. So I'm left with 2/3 of a yard of fabric. And we're going to take our 2/3 and divide it into pieces 1/6 of a yard long. So here we do our dividing fractions as easy as pie, flip the second, and multiply. We simplify. We get 4/1. So it should have 4 pieces of ribbon. Okay. And I know I'm going a little quick here. Feel free to pause this and copy down each problem as you're going through, if you didn't have time to finish them all yourself. All right. I'm going to check to make sure. I think we did that one already. All right, so complete the table, finding the products, then answer the questions. So here we're going to complete the table about doing the products here. What they're doing is they're taking this division problem, flipping the second, and then we're going to be comparing at the end. So I don't see any simplifying on this first one. Get in a little bit closer there so you can see. Okay, no simplifying on the first one. And the second one, after the second fraction is flipped, it's taking its reciprocal there. There isn't any simplifying there. And then this one right here, we can simplify those 5s. We'll get 4/3, which is the same as 1 1/3. So to explain this, I'm going to just put my answers up so we save some time with writing this all down in front of you. So the first fraction in both sets of problems is the same. In the multiplication problem, the second fraction is the reciprocal of the second fraction in the related division problem. So what it's saying is that here we keep the first one the same. The second one is the reciprocal as of this. This is our related division problem. the answers for the division problems match the answers for the related multiplication problems. So notice that our answers match. Okay, so what we did was we took the second and multiplied. Here they're just giving you what the answer is. This is giving you the strategy. So when you use the strategy of flipping the second and multiplying, you will get the same answer. So this is the strategy used for division. Then it says, explain how to use the pattern in the table to rewrite a division problem involving fractions as a multiplication problem. So you rewrite a division problem involving fractions by keeping the first fraction the same, changing the operation to multiplication, and using the reciprocal of the second fraction. All right, and here we have number 17. Let's look at number 17, and I'm going to look at it this way with you first. So number 17, Margie hiked a 17 7/8 mile trail. She stopped every 3 2/5 miles to take a picture. Martin and Tina estimated how many times Margie stopped. So we have two different estimates here. Who made the better estimate? Use number and words to explain your answer. So off to the side, I'm going to do this problem the way I would do it. So then I can look at it and compare these other answers that we have. So she hiked a 17 7/8 of a mile trail, and she stopped so we divide that into 3 2/5, every 3 2/5 miles. So in order to divide fractions, we need to make these mixed numbers into improper fractions. Remember, our denominators will stay the same. Multiply and then add the top number. So here we have 17 times 8. 136 plus the 7 on the top here. Okay, so I get 143 for my top number. And then for this one, 15, 16, 17. And dividing fractions is easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply. So we're going to flip this one over. I'm going to look at that and see. I don't see any simplifying right now that I can do in this problem. So we're just going to go ahead and multiply the numerators. I would get 715 for the top and 136 on the bottom. Now I see that my top number is heavier or bigger than the bottom number. So we have an improper fraction here that we can change back into a mixed number. We can do that by dividing. Fit in there 5 times. So I'm going to have 5 as my whole number, 5 and 35 over 136. Because remember, this is our whole number, this is our numerator, here's our denominator. So now we have to look at these estimates and see which one is bigger. So it's Tina's estimate is better. Both Martin and Tina used compatible numbers. So here we have compatible numbers right here. But Tina's is better because 18 is a better estimate for 17 7/8. This is closer to 18, and this is closer to 3 than it is to 4. So this is the closer estimate. So I'm going to put this up here just for you for a minute. It says Tina's estimate is better. Both Martin and Tina used compatible numbers, but 18 is a better estimate for 17 7/8 than 16 is. Also, 3 is a better estimate for 3 2/5 than 4 is. And this is how I checked it. I went through, and this is what we just wrote on this other sheet of paper. So you're going to want to say Tina's estimate is better, is more accurate. Brad and Wes are building a tree house. They cut a 12.5-foot piece of wood into 5 of the same length pieces. So we have 12.5 piece of wood, and we're cutting it or dividing it into 5 of the same length pieces. How long is each piece of wood? Show your work. So here we have a mixed number that we need to make into an improper fraction. Here we have a whole number that we need to flip so we can multiply. And before I go ahead and multiply my numerators and denominators, I'm checking for simplification, which I see this is divisible by 5, and so is this. So divide by 5 on the diagonals, and I get 5 over 2, which is the same as 2 1/2. foot per piece. Okay, I want to go back real quick and just check to make sure I did all the problems. Yep, they are on part 1 of the video. So feel free to pause often through that video and try those on your own before you actually go through them with me, because it's more beneficial to study using what you know, not just watching me and seeing what I know. I think that will help you out a lot for the test. So good luck. See you soon.